Alright, what is going on, guys? SpitefulHopes back again, coming at you with the top characters that I feel are worth running in Extreme Co-op this rotation. And first we're going to talk about the pretty much the vote for a character banner, and you'll see that 5th Anniversary Ichigo dominated the boards when it came to this, and Machine Society Ruruka, Desert Society Rukia, Spirit Society Byakuya, Christmas Nell, and then 6, 7, and 8 you'll see Apache, Orihime, and Swimsuit Halibut. Keep in mind that this is just global and JP Twitters, which means that we are not 100% sure who's going to be 5th through 8th, okay? So just keep in mind that this could fluctuate entirely, but I think that it's safe to say that the top 4 are pretty much set in stone, because this only takes into account global and JP Twitters. It doesn't take into account any other countries. It doesn't take into account Facebook votes, any of that, okay? So let's just go right into the next. Let's just go. What is this? Free Uryu. What could this be? Oh, that's interesting. Alright, and next on the list you'll see here, this was actually sent to me recently, and the worst is they knew what they were doing. Waiting till 2 hours after the news reset and waiting till right before a weekend, they did their best to minimize how much they'd have to deal with when it comes to the backlash. So K-Lab on their Scum Lab as usual. I mean, what else is new? And going into the characters that I feel are actually worth talking about, and they're only going to be tech characters with Frenzy. I don't really want to go too deep into too many characters because I don't want this video to be too long. However, I do want to talk about the ones that I do think are worth mentioning. Okay, so going into Grimmjow, you'll see here he is actually going to be incredible when it comes to providing just straight up raw damage and some support. Now he does have Hollow Killer, which is really good here. Damage inflicted at full stamina plus 25% with his Berserker of 60%, as well as boosting technique attribute. Arankar strong attack damage plus 20% means that he's going to be buffing his Canfiron World Halibels. He's going to be buffing the Spirit Society Grimmjows as well. Devastation plus 60%, Frenzy Sprinter plus 1, and strong attack recharge built into the character is really nice. Now keep in mind that the technique attribute of Arankar strong attack damage plus 20% does not stack, so that can cause some issues. He has a beam for strong attack. When I say a beam for strong attack, just assume that that is a 2500 length beam or a 3000 length beam, depending on if the character has Havoc. I'm going to say that just now, just so that I can power through this in a reasonable amount of time. Every single time I try to record this, it's like 20 minutes, and I understand why. It's because I'm going over way too many characters. Next on the list, we have Yamamoto with a strong attack recharge minus 12%. He does have Berserker 20%, damage to burning enemies plus 20%. Running multiple Yamamotos, I want to know if the burn actually stacks. Like, would you just keep providing burns non-stop throughout the match if you're running 4 Yamamotos? I think that would be definitely really interesting to look at if you run like the headbands or nerd glasses. I get the two confused with each other, so apologies for that. But Frenzy, Havoc 20%, Berserker 20%, very good. The chance to burn the enemies is very high if you're running multiple Yamamotos. Running multiple Yamamotos might not be a bad idea as long as everyone has the nerd glasses or the headbands all equipped. I wouldn't really recommend it. I would definitely recommend running someone like Nini though. Nini is, in my opinion, probably one of the best units here. Now she has a strong attack recharge and hand sling, which is good, with a barrier to provide support, especially when it comes down to those pesky one-hit kill mechanics from the bosses. Now she does have a barrier mechanic, which is going to be very helpful there. Running 4 Ninis is definitely an option in my opinion. With nullifier range resistance 100%, she runs as melee or range at the same time, with a Berserker of 60%, Bruiser 40%, Devastation 60%, Frenzy, Havoc 20%. She is, in my opinion, an incredible unit. Sure, she has range collision. Sure, she doesn't have killer, but it is tech boosted, not killer bonus like Inheritance Zone or Guild Quest. Yeah, so I mean that's pretty much Nini in a nutshell. She has a range collision for strong attack, breath style ability for her second. This is going to be the same attack as Tokinata, Bankai Kone, or Fierce Battle Kisuke, and then her full screen third strong attack. Just overall very good character in my opinion. Sure, she might not clear like crazy fast, but I think that she'll perform incredibly well. Next on the list, and probably one of the safer units to run, is definitely going to be this 1000-year Blood War Uryu. Now he does have Soul Reaper Killer, so he will have killer advantage in some way. Berserker 40%, Guard Break, Havoc 20%, Frenzy, and then Ailment Reversal. Now since the enemies are Hollows and Soul Reapers, that means that Ailment Reversal is going to be popping off, bro. You're going to be like that one girl at the club who's always going to every single club, every dude on the highway, bro. He's like, yo, you gotta drink, 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 yo, just passing around. Urio will be passing around STDs like nobody's business, bro. Best character in the game, 100%. No, I'm just kidding. But he's going to be very good, though. I really do think he's going to be very good. Sure, he has range collision on his first. He has the same second strong attack as Nini for his second and his third. But like I said, I think that he'll perform incredibly well. Next on the list, I do think that this is probably the best character when it comes down to this extreme co-op, because he does have killer on both. We have Soul Reaper and Hollow Killer on this character. Strong attack recharge minus 12%. They do have their little switch mechanic, which I actually prefer running Izuru instead of Gin. Not because I like Izuru more, but because I like Izuru's normal attack damage string more than Gin's normal attack damage string. He does have Guard Break, Frenzy, Berserker 20%, hits like a truck. His first strong attack is a standard lunge. Second strong attack is going to be the 800 AoE, the circular AoE, and then full screen third strong attack. He doesn't have Havoc 20%, which I feel was a missed opportunity to make him the definitive best tech character in the game, but he still is one of the best, if not the best tech character in the game. Incredible, incredible, incredible unit with 2 killers. Definitely very, very, very good. All right. Next on the list, we have Aizen. I actually like this Aizen a little bit more than Halibel when it comes to this extreme co-op, simply because of his transformation mechanic and being able to refresh his cooldowns. You'll be able to pop off your barrier a lot more than Halibel. However, Halibel does have a boost mechanic, which can be very, very, very useful. They both have Berserker of 40%, Bruiser 40%, Devastation 60%. She has Enhancer, of course, with Frenzy and Havoc 20%, and he also has a Frenzy but no Havoc. However, he does have Guard Break, which can be very, very useful in a pinch. One is melee and one is range, so running 2 of them, 2 of each, definitely not a bad idea, considering that you'll be able to refresh cooldowns. You'll have barriers up like non-stop if you run Ninnies as well. Like, definitely not a bad option, especially if you're trying to play it relatively safe. Rukia, definitely a good value character. Beam first strong attack, circular AoE second, full screen third strong attack. No Havoc 20%, but she does have Berserker 20% with freeze on everything. Strong attack recharge minus 14%. And I know that she has paralysis on her second, alright? Shut up. It's the same thing as a freeze. Leave me alone. Next on the list, going into Kaien. Kaien's going to hit like a truck. His second strong attack is a shockwave style ability, same as TLA Minded Jushiro and 1,000-Year Blood War Shunsui. It hits really hard, especially in co-op where the enemies, especially mainly bosses, don't get pushed back by range collision. That's going to be very, very useful because you'll be able to get right up on the boss, tickle his asshole, and then just spread him. Third strong attack is going to be a standard charge skill with beyond full screen capabilities, because it does go all the way up to 1080. Third strong attack, very, very good. And then his special move can nuke should you actually have duplicates into this character. I wouldn't really run him as the main lead unless like you have maybe a 4 or 5, 5 or 5. If you have him 5 or 5, I think he's going to perform incredibly well as a main runner. Alright, next on the list, Stark. He has the range to like perform well. I don't think he's too crazy here, but he is very, very, very good. His second strong attack is going to be the circular AoE. Third strong attack, standard full screen. Third strong attack, Havoc 20%, Frenzy. He has a lower range beam. It's more of a burst shot around in front, but it's not quite necessarily the regular beam that most of these characters are getting that are 2500 length. Alright, next on the list, Shockwave style ability, just like Kaien, just on a smaller scale in my opinion, but she does have weakened defense on her ultimate, which can be very useful in a pinch. So if you have Lisa, I wouldn't knock having a Lisa as long as you come prepared. Now, talking about coming prepared, and this is something that I want to get to especially to you guys that are starting to get into extreme co-op, because I think this is going to be very beneficial. Come prepared, and by that I mean like don't half-ass like your character that you're bringing. And I'm going to tell you this story, and I'm going to sound like a pompous prick, but I want you to hear me out all the way through for this specific story time, because I hope that you will agree, or at the very least understand where I'm coming from with this. Now, I was doing extreme co-op with a couple of my boys, and one person decided to join in. We needed a fourth. I figured, okay, fine. Like, yeah. It's like, bro, we could use an extra person. We'd rather have someone that's in voice chat than some random that's coming online, right? He enters. I'm using my Max Transcendent Kirinji. My friend's using a 205 Byakuya. My other friend's using a Max Transcendent Byakuya. Now, I don't really require Max Transcendence when it comes to running with me, as long as like you're cool, right? But this guy comes in with a 1 of 5 Sajin, no link slots, no Transcendence, no, well, he's running Yukis and Pupples, and he's running Last Ditch Survival Link. So he's running Last Ditch, like 300, 400% Last Ditch on a Last Ditch character already. I didn't find that acceptable. I told him, I'm like, bro, you're gonna have to do better than that. I'm like, you're gonna have to do better than that. You better put some link slots on that bit or something. You better put like SP5. You could at the very least do SP5. You know what he tells me? He said, I'm not working. And he says, I'm not working on this trash. And that upset me. Because I'm like, okay, everyone here, I don't care what character you use, bro. You can come in with like Dangai Ichigo. You come in here prepared, alright? Like I don't care if you run in Yuki's Pupples. At least get his SP to level 5. At least do that. At least link slot him to 555. Don't come in here with a half-naked character and think that my group is going to be accepting someone to get carried, okay? I don't mind if someone can't do that, but saying that you refuse to do that is something entirely different. Alright, I understand that you worked hard to get into Extreme Co-op, but the reality is a lot of people here have been working very hard to do this Extreme Co-op, and a lot of people take time out of their day for this specific time period, which I still think Extreme Co-op should be available throughout the entire week. I don't like that it's like time slotted, but the reality is since it's time slotted, you want to play with people that are willing to play, right? So if you want to auto, then obviously like group up to let them know that you want to auto and do that. Like we have that all the time. Yo, DMB, I'm looking at you with your Sanosuke, but he worked on his Sanosuke. His Sanosuke has SP level 10. He has him link slotted. He actually plays. You know what I'm saying? So like at the very least, you come prepared. But this guy refused to come prepared, and I didn't like that. And you don't want to be the guy that gets carried, because the reality is, if you're the guy that gets carried all the time, nobody's gonna want to play with you. Should people want to be taking it seriously? And I understand a lot of people are going to be like, oh, wow, you take the game seriously. No, the reality is you take 2 hours out of your day in order to grind Extreme Co-op so that you don't have to, like, that way you have brushes, right? But you don't want to be known as the person who only gets carried. And I feel bad for them, because there's a lot of times where, like, this guy will get to 3rd seat, but every single person in voice chat understands that this person will only want to get carried, and nobody wants to group up with them. And like it's funny to me, because I'm like, all right, Dathly, you, Lano, you, Gamerlord, you, DMB, you know what I'm saying, N15, you like, you guys come with me. Y'all get him, bro. y'all take the guy that's trying to get carried, because I'm not trying to waste 2 hours carrying somebody who refuses to come prepared to something that they knew 1 month in advance was coming out. Simple as that. Simple as that. But that's just pretty much my experience with it. Just please come prepared, guys. Like please don't be that guy. All right. I have no problem if you can't work on your guy. That's different. If you literally can't like level up their SP, if you can't, because like, oh dude, I wasted all my small scrolls, my bad, that's fine. But don't come at me and say, nah, I'm not good, I'm not working on my guy. Carry me, bro. Carry me. No, nah. Unacceptable. Absolutely unacceptable, bro. Hit that motherfucker with the blacklist, bro. Anyways, next on the list, Grimjow, honorable mention. He'll be pretty okay when it comes down to it if you have several dupes into him. You would have to transcend him, in my opinion, to really perform well here. And I do feel like you'd only really want to run him if you're running the other Grimjow in the party to boost this guy's strong attack damage. Aside from that, not really. Toshiro is going to be very good here. Strong attack damage plus 20%. Frenzy, Debilitator plus 5 seconds. Freeze on everything. And Sprinter plus 1. I think he'll be okay. Like, he has Soul Reaper Killer, but my issues with him stem more from, if you have him max transcended, he's going to be amazing. If you have him 1 of 5, he's going to struggle a little because you don't have strong attack recharge. You're not going to have a lot of invincibility frames, which comes to my next point, and that is going to be Kisuke. Kisuke does have a revive mechanic on his special, which I think is going to be incredibly useful if you actually only have Kisuke. I wouldn't really advise running Kisuke's unless, like, he's your best tech unit. If he's your best tech unit, by all means, I'd say get him his SP to level 10. At worst, he's a strong attack recharge minus 12%. If you can only get the SP to level 5, or you're only willing to get SP level 5, at least that shows effort. You know what I'm saying? Like that, I don't think that's a problem. Next on the list, personally, one of my favorite characters in the game, strong attack recharge minus 12%. Flies in, bro. Soul Reaper Killer, Team Booster, full screen, third strong attack comes out in waves, meaning that you have multiple invincibility frames, so you can protect yourself from full screen, from one-hit kill mechanics from the bosses. He does have insta-kill on his special move, as well as a devastation 40% if you don't have him max transcended. He does have Frenzy and Sprinter plus 1. He has the biggest lunge in the game. The lunge is actually Actually have it right here. 36.7% bigger than anyone else's standard lunge. Like the standard lunge is 475 radius without Havoc 20%. He has 750 without Havoc 20%. That's really good. Full screen, third strong attack, 525 second strong attack. The boost, unfortunately, is the old school style boost. 525 radius, not very good. It's around himself. It's not like a distant AoE like these new characters like Tokinata or Hikone second strong attack, you know what I'm saying? But it's still very good. Like, he's still a very good character overall. Of course, got to give an honorable mention to Soifon. I think she'll perform incredibly well here should you have multiple copies into her. She should still hit like a truck with an SP level 10. Long Stride, Sprinter plus 3 because she is a Soifon, so she has 3 flash steps innately, and Debilitator plus 2 seconds. Honestly, like, Soifon still is an incredible unit to this day. Next on the list, I think that Fullbring Ichigos are going to be making a comeback. He did get Strong Attack Recharge. He got Berserker 20%, and on top of that, he's a snack. He does have Hollow Killer, Berserker 40% with his Link, and then Strong Attack Recharge minus 10%, Frenzy, Devastation 40%. I think this character is going to perform very, very well, and he also hits 809 Spiritual Pressure when he has Resurrections. Sure, he didn't get the craziest Resurrection ever, but he got a great Resurrection in my opinion. He didn't need much, and they gave him what he needed in my opinion. If they gave him Havoc 20%, I'd probably go to the bathroom and go nut real quick, but they didn't, so I'm going to hold that in for now. No Nut November lifestyle. And last but not least, honorable mention, Ruruka. Honestly, I feel like she's better in her 6-star version because she has a melee third strong attack, which I understand why people would be like, why would you want a melee third strong attack? Bro, when you get disconnected, bro, this third strong attack was a lifesaver back in the day. And honestly, with the way K-Lab's been working like their servers, disconnections can very often occur, and that's why I really like characters like Nini or Noelle or Shuhei or 5th Anniversary Ichigo or Byakuya, or just characters with nullify range or melee resistance in general, which I think it's only those 5 characters at the moment. So I'm going to be looking very forward to them flushing that out more. I feel like it'd be really cool if they continue that trend, because right now we only have one cycle of character attributes, and they all came out in a relatively short amount of time. July 23rd, 5th Anniversary Ichigo and Byakuya. Nini and Noelle were mid-month October, and then you have Shuhei for end of the month September. So yeah, I mean, overall very, very good value. But I'm gonna leave it at that. You guys grind, catch up with me, stay blessed. Let me know in the comments below who you actually plan to run. Let me know if you think I was too harsh on the guy. I understand where people would be coming from, like, yo, Spy, why would you do him dirty like that? But the reality is, bro, like, imagine you're doing a school project and like you're graded based on imagine you're doing a school project and everyone's based on everyone's performance. You don't want that slacker in the group unless they actually need the help. If they actually need the help, I'm more than happy to help. You could ask around the community how often people actually come to me for either advice, help, like thumbnails, art, and stuff like that, even though they should go to Soldex for that, because that's where I get all my stuff from. But I'm going to leave it at that. You guys grind, I'll catch you. Stay blessed. You actually remember the Sajin? Mm-hmm. Can you, like,
a screenshot?
Yeah, can you explain the situation? Like a quick, like...
Long story short, he brought, like, a Sajin with basically a NAD build, and then his Sajin had dupes, but, like, he didn't put any transcendent slots on any of them. It was weird, and he wasn't slotted, so it was even worse.
Yeah. Do you remember when he was like begging to get carried?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So I'm bringing that up on my video. I'm not name dropping.